Well then, the little dragon that made us cringe seeing him, making us want to kill him and anything he touches, including Rarity. But as he is today, would I do it? No. Why? Well, for that, let's run a quick summary on how Spike evolved before our eyes. No, not in that way. Starting with the first episode of the show, our little dragon is set up as Twilight's abused assistant. Oh yes, Twilight abuses her little baby dragon. And yes, that can be interpreted as an innuendo. Still, as we slog through the first season, Spike receives this snarky attitude that I just love.
Maybe the birds can use it as an outhouse?
This single line made me like Spike. And as a supporting character, he was really well used. But then came the All's Well episode. Oh, fuck me, was that the end of the times. This episode ushered an era of concept for Spike-isode, a Spike-led episode that eventually was a hot garbage on a sunny day in hell. And not only that, but this was also Spike's first lead episode. Talk about starting with a stinker in a crowded elevator. Season 2 had some ups and downs for Spike, but nothing I would note as an improving element. Rather a status quo propagator. If not for Secret of My Excess. The second Spike-led episode that made me want to jam unicorn's horns up my brain and every other orifice. Probably because writer was speciesed against reptiles, but also it introduced this weird-ass growth, which to this day hasn't been really explained, to be honest. I mean, first time it was Twilight's magic, but this? The fuck is this? And why aren't other dragons like this? You know what, just like writers, I'll just forget that this episode exists and say, fuck it, moving on. It's safe to say that because of these two episodes, Spike solidified being a shit character to be lead, even though these episodes had decent lessons behind them. As for the half-baked season 3, Spike, well, if season 2 solidified the shit, then this season fossilized it. Just for sidekicks was just annoying, and so was Spike at your service, though that is still the only one of the bad ones that I can watch. So at this point, the end of the era had concluded. We got the wings, characterless princess, and an awesome villainous race, a great prankster god, and a few other things, while Spike was doomed as a character, buried under horrible and idiotic writing, otherwise known as the writer jet diarrhea laced with afterbirth. Season 4 overall just went for me in the state of meh, including Power Ponies. Nice little self-contained adventure with a good message that was done okay. Equestria Games had wonderful ending, yet to this day, I can't listen to the anthem. I shit you not. Even now, talking, I could not bring myself to see through. I have never seen it play out. The cringe would just kill me. And yes, I know it was intended that way, and they succeeded. Now, season 5 went on about the same way. First with the Princess Spike being really meh episode, making me think that I'm just simply desensitized to Spike being garbage. See kids, this is the lesson of the day. Expect your life, friends, parents, and even your dreams to be shit. Nothing matters, so fuck everything. And no, I'm totally not still upset about the hive. Fuck you. Anyways, I was surprised to see Spike being used for the finale with this sort of track record. It'd be like using the Queen of England for rally race. You know, everything is gonna be shit and turn into handbag fights. Still, as long as Spike is not in the lead, it's fine, I guess. So, on to the season 6. Oh boy. Gauntlet of Fire. After seeing that it was a Spike episode, I thought, well, fuck, yet another Spike-isode is coming. But after watching it, even credit music was wonderful. This was the redeeming thing. Not only Spike acted more grown up, but by doing so he also encouraged someone else. It was truly an enjoyable episode and quite high up there in my own personal list. Because of this, I was looking forward to seeing Spike again, and I hadn't have to wait long. The times they are a changeling. As much as I had my own canon or idea as to what would happen, we finally see the return of changelings, or at the very least one of them. And having Spike, an outsider to ponies, you know, being a dragon, another predator, was a super wise choice to be used to show Thorax the kindness and acceptance. I seriously appreciate that writers thought of this little parallel as well. And though episode was somewhat lackluster and visually boring, it had a heart, and season 6 truly proved Spike's capabilities not only as a supporting character, but also as the main lead proper. And finally, in currently the last season 7, again writers choose to use Spike to bring someone in the fold, or rather together. This time dragons and hippies. Traitors. You know what I mean. Though it really was a Spike-led episode, it still was the only one that he participated in more than usual. So, in the end, it's off that up until the last 2 seasons, Spike was actually a piece of shit. Sure, he started out great. For me. Then immediately got dropped on the floor, breaking most of his teeth, then dropped again with more force, breaking the rest of his teeth, and finally just got pummeled down the ground so much that some people decided to do reconstructive surgery on the guy, and now he's a supermodel, if that analogy makes any sense. It's weird for me that it took so long for writers to recognize how useful and wonderful can Spike be, without putting on some dipshit reason for him to do things, like greed, some more greed, and even more greed. That's Rarity's job.